Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? So I just saw a clip posted on Showtime Sports YouTube channel, and I believe this may be something that they are going to air at the beginning or right before the Frank Martin and Michelle Rivera fight tonight on Showtime. A huge fight in the lightweight division. Big fight, man. Two undefeated young fighters, both in their athletic prime. Both guys fighting to prove a point, fighting to continue to climb the ranks, make a statement, and really make their presence felt, not just in this division, but in boxing, period. I mean, these two guys are premier talents in the sport. And it's a rare matchup that you don't always get a chance to see with two undefeated young fighters putting it all on the line, man. And I believe that, you know, they're going to show this right before the fight, but they posted it on the YouTube page. And it was really dope, man. Derrick James really just getting an opportunity to allow people to get some sort of insight on how he runs his stable, how he runs his camps. He has three fighters, three incredibly gifted fighters. One of them who is undisputed, pound for pound king, Jamel Charlo. You know, the first undisputed champion at 154 with all four belts in the four-belt era. Legendary shit, right? Incredibly talented fighter. You have a unified champion with 3 titles in Earl the True Spence Jr. in historically one of the most coveted divisions in the sport of boxing. And then you have a young guy, 27 years old, man, started boxing late, but he got with the right guy in Derrick James, man, to really take him to that next level in Frank Martin, who is taking the lightweight division by storm. He has an opportunity to at least, you know, further that push and that crusade tonight versus Michelle Rivera. And, you know, it was a beautiful thing just to listen to Derrick James talk, man, talk about his upbringing, talking about how, you know, pretty much everything that you see today is a product of the Boys and Girls Club here in Dallas, Texas. You know, being able to be around, you know, leaders and role models, and, you know, having an opportunity to, you know, really live out his dreams and box at the Boys and Girls Club and get an opportunity just to have some sort of direction in life. And you see where it's brought him as a man, as a great man, as a great leader, as a great teacher. And that's one thing I always put emphasis on when it comes to Derrick James. Not every boxing trainer or coach is an actual teacher of the sweet science, is an actual teacher of the craft, is an actual teacher of the sport, and really enhances their fighters' ring IQ and life IQ, to be honest with you. Derrick James is essentially a big brother to these guys. And, you know, it's just a beautiful thing to see the relationship that he has with his fighters and how that translates in the ring. So I just think it's dope that Derrick James is finally getting his flowers. And one thing in particular that I wanted to talk about is something that I touched on before in regard to why Derrick James fighters are so successful. One of the main reasons, not the only reason, but it's one of the big reasons. And it just so happens that when you have a great coach or teacher like Derrick James, these things really do go hand in hand. Derrick James talked about how coachable his fighters are. He said that, and y'all know this is something that I talk about all the time, especially with Earl Spence. People kind of use that as a knock against Earl Spence, that he's so steadfast and he sticks to a game plan. He knows how to follow instructions. He sticks to what Derrick James is telling him, and that shit works. You know, people get so enamored with the, you know, fighters going rogue in a ring, making, you know, adjustments and shit like that, which is cool. Earl Spence can do that too, making adjustments on the fly. But in my opinion, I think it's even more impressive when there is a game plan that you guys have spent weeks on, 8 to 10 weeks, and you've been training for this guy. You've been in the gym hitting the mitts a certain way, doing certain foot movement drills, doing attacking the heavy bag a certain way, building around your opponent, and trying to create certain angles that can put the fighter in an advantageous position. You spent all this time doing those things in the gym. Why not actually take that into the fight and do that shit? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of fighters that they do all this shit in the gym, but when they get in the ring, they don't look nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's different with Derrick James coach fighters. You actually see the hard work, the techniques that they worked on in camp. You see that translate into the gym. It's because they're coachable. They follow instructions. And with you seen in Jermell Charlo is a very coachable fighter, an incredible fighter. But he had a lapse in that first fight with Castano. We all talked about it. He wasn't following Derrick James' instructions. He was kind of doing his own thing, and you seen what that led him to, a draw, a very controversial decision. So in the second fight, when he actually listened, you can see that he was implementing the things that Derrick James was telling him to do round by round when they had the mic on Derrick James. Everything that Derrick James was telling him to do, he was going out there and doing that shit, and you seen the result. You feel what I'm saying? So that's just a testament to having a fighter that's coachable, that knows how to listen and can follow instructions and can actually execute the game plan that you guys have formulated and worked on this entire 8 to 10 weeks. And you see that there's a level of success to be had when you're able to do that. What's the point of building this? What's the point of even training? What's the point of an NFL coach coming up with a game plan, a scheme, a system for his players to follow, but then when they get out there, they don't fucking do the shit? What's the point of that? Why would you, I'd rather have a fighter that is coachable, that can do the shit that I want him to do, than a fighter that goes out there and goes rogue and do all these fancy movements and shit, doing his own damn thing because that's just what he do. You know what I'm saying? So Derrick James said something that was powerful to me. He said, and again, it just speaks to what I've been harping on this whole time as far as his fighters being coachable. He said that these guys, they want to be everything that I want them to be. Think about that. Errol Spence, Frank Martin, Jermell Charlo. He said that these guys want to be everything that I want them to be. What that means is that they believe in Coach Derrick James. And obviously he's a great teacher because he's telling them some good shit. And the fact that they actually want to put it into action, they are dedicated to actually, okay, this is what we worked on. I'm going to do this shit. And I'm going to see it through. We worked on, okay, if this happens in the fourth round or by round 5, if things are going this way, this is what we going to do. We talked about this. So you stick with that and you actually see the game plan through, and there's a certain level of success to be had when you can do that. He also said something to the effect that his fighters push him to be his best as well. It was kind of like the exact opposite, just from the fighter's perspective, is that, everything that they're doing and the work that they put in, it translates to him as well. It makes him elevate his game to a whole nother level. And it's a great relationship when you build it from that foundational level of dedication, technique, being coachable, having the ability to lead and teach fighters. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what separates Derrick James from everybody else. I'm not saying that he's the only great teacher of boxing in the sport, but in my opinion, he's the best. I think Derrick James has been the best trainer for at least the last 4 or 5 years, man. And I've seen the growth, and it's been incredible that, just listening to him talk about the craft and then listening to him mid-fight, giving instructions to his fighters, and watching the next round, how when they actually go out there and do what Derrick James said do, that shit be working. That shit work. That shit works. So that's what I really wanted to put emphasis on. How coachable Errol Spence, Frank Martin, and Jermell Charlo is. And how great of a teacher that Derrick James is. When you have a great coach, a teacher, and you have a very coachable student who's willing to listen and go out there in battle and do exactly what y'all worked on, bruh, that's a recipe for success. That's a recipe for success. Sure, you want to have a guy who can do all the fancy movements and make, all the what people would call adjustments, motherfuckers freestyling and shit in the ring. That shit dope. But I'd rather have a guy who can do that when they need to, but primarily, they gonna focus on everything that we worked on in the gym, because what's the fucking point if you just gonna throw the whole game plan out the window and just go do your own thing? You feel what I'm saying? That's one of the key elements that make Derrick James great. You feel what I'm saying? So, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. If y'all have gotten a chance to watch, it was about 5 minutes, the special or video that they posted with Derrick James at World Class Boxing Gym in Oak Cliff, right here in Dallas, Texas, man. And, let me know what y'all think. Was there some gems that y'all picked up on? I thought it was pretty cool to see, Errol Spence kind of like, just behind the scenes and, seeing how he worked with Frank Martin. They also had Jermell Charlo on there kind of giving his insight, man. And I just thought that was cool. So y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Contender Regime Boxing. I'll holla at y'all boys, man.